Wow, I can't believe it's been 25 years since this film came out. What if you made different choices? What if you said yes instead of no? What if you got a second chance? And that's some of these questions when I really ask what happens when a man wakes up in another reality into the life he could have had instead of going with the one he originally went with. That's easy. You got this film right here. Prepare yourselves because this is my review of The Family Man. Ho 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 ho! This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Ho ho ho! So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome again to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. I'm the Big D, and this time around, I bring to you a review of the 2000 romantic fantasy dramedy flick, The Family Man, released by Universal along with Beacon Pictures, directed by Brett Ratner, from a screenplay by David Diamond and David Weissman. Starring Nicolas Cage and Leoni, along with Don Cheadle, Saul Rubinek, and Jeremy Piven. The film was released on this day, December 22nd, 2000. Henceforth, today is the film's 25th anniversary. Though it got mixed reviews, but it eventually did pretty well. And even won an award or two. Or maybe it was just one. But anyway, this is my review of why I feel like it's a pretty underrated Christmas themed flick. Yes, because this takes place during the holidays at Christmas time. Well, we start out in 1987, where Jack and Kate, who have been together since college, are at JFK Airport, where he's about to leave to take up a 12-month internship with Barclays in London. She fears the separation will be detrimental to their relationship and asks him not to go, but he reassures her that their love is strong enough to last and that the internship will be beneficial to their future together. 13 years later, to the present day in 2000, Jack is a wealthy bachelor and Wall Street executive in New York City with millions at his disposal. At work, he is putting together a multi billion-dollar merger and has ordered an emergency meeting on Christmas Day, disregarding his employees' desires to spend time with their families. In his office on Christmas Eve, he gets a message to contact Kate. Jack ponders whether Kate is attempting to reconnect, but chooses not to return her call. On his way home, Jack is in a convenience store when a young man named Cash enters claiming to have a winning lottery ticket worth $238, but the store clerk refuses him, saying that the ticket is a forgery. Cash pulls out a gun, and Jack, trying to defuse the situation, offers to buy the ticket, calling it a business deal. Cash eventually agrees. Outside, Jack patronizingly tries to help Cash, who, feeling like he is being preached to, asks Jack if anything is missing from his own life. When Jack haplessly says he has everything he needs, Cash enigmatically, excuse me, everyone, remarks that Jack has brought this upon himself and walks away. A puzzled Jack returns to his penthouse to sleep. Jack wakes up the next morning on Christmas Day, but in a suburban New Jersey bedroom with Kate and two children. Confused, he rushes out to his home in New York, but the doorman and his neighbor claim not to recognize him. He goes to his office, which is closed for the holiday, and is turned away by security. Outside, he encounters Cash, now smartly dressed and driving Jack's Ferrari. Although Cash offers to explain what is happening, all he does is make a vague reference to the organization and tell Jack that he's getting a glimpse of something that will happen, well, not happen, but that will help him to figure out for himself what is important in life. Jack returns to the house and tries to tell Kate the truth, but she reacts angrily. He receives some help from his young daughter Annie, who believes Jack is an alien and her real father will return soon. He struggles to adjust to fatherhood and his modest family life. finding that he is a tire salesman working for Kate's father, and Kate is a nonprofit lawyer. When he discovers that this is the life he would have had if he had stayed in the US as Kate had asked, he lashes out at Kate and expresses resentment for her holding him back. Jack later apologizes and grows closer to Annie and her baby brother Josh, and realizes he never fell out of love with Kate. He comes to enjoy his family life and begins succeeding at his sales job. One day, his former boss, Peter Lassiter, comes in to have a tire blowout fixed. Taking advantage of the chance meeting, Jack uses his business savvy to impress Lassiter, who invites Jack to his office, where Jack worked in his other life. There, after a short interview, offers him a position. While he is excited by the potential salary and other perks, including a lavish apartment in Manhattan, Kate is less certain. She expresses deep misgivings about raising their children in the city and leaving their old life behind, telling Jack that they should be thankful for the life they have. Jack returns home only to discover his plane ticket to London. Upon closer examination, he realizes that he did, in fact, take the flight, but then came back the next day to be with Kate. Reminded of Jack's choice, she reciprocates his feelings by telling Jack that she is prepared to follow him and move the family to the sea in order to do just as Jack did for her. Now for the final act and the ending. Yep, going to go ahead and go to it. So as always, you've got 5 seconds to stop this video at once. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below as I start counting down now. If you've seen this movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Jack encounters Cash at a grocery store and is frightened by the idea of leaving this life, which he now loves, behind. Cash reminds him that a glimpse, by definition, is an impermanent thing. Jack returns home again and watches over his children, and then tries to stay awake while watching Kate sleep, but eventually does fall asleep and wakes to find he has returned to his old life on Christmas Day. Jack returns to the office to close the big acquisition deal, making plans to fly to Aspen to prevent it from failing. But first visits Kate, now an unmarried corporate lawyer, preparing to move to Paris. She only called him to return a box of his old possessions, and when Jack asks her to meet for coffee, she suggests that he look her up if he's ever in Paris. Jack chooses not to go to Aspen and instead chases after Kate to the airport and begs her to stay. She reacts with confusion as their relationship has been over for more than a decade and refuses. Jack then describes in detail their life together and their children, saying it was a dream that seemed real and admitting that he can no longer conceive of a life without her. Intrigued, she eventually agrees to go with him for coffee. And from a distance, they are seen talking inaudibly and laughing over their coffees and their possible future. End of story. So, what did I think of The Family Man? I have to say, this is a very good movie, and I've seen this several times, and I feel like this is a very underrated Christmas film in my book. I think it's just so amazing, and yeah, it kind of feels like you're seeing It's a Wonderful Life, but except in a different way. You're seeing a man seeing what the life he would have had instead of what the world would be without him. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I've got to say, it's got a good story, I have to admit. Now, here, Universal released it in North America, while Buena Vista Film Sales released it internationally. The film did fine, despite losing to What Women Want and Castaway. It still did well. It went on to make 124 million worldwide on its $60 million budget, so that was decent enough. The reviews were mixed, however, with Rotten Tomatoes having a score of 55, saying the film's earnest attempt to remind audiences that It's a Wonderful Life too often steers into schmaltz, although Nicolas Cage and Taylor Leoni's romantic rapport adds a dash of sincere sweetness. Now, I couldn't agree more on that. Metacritic has a score of 42, and audiences public cinema score gave it a B plus. Chris Gore of Film Thread said, "If you're looking for a heartfelt, feel-good holiday movie, just give in and enjoy." View London's Matthew Turner said, "This is a perfect feel-good Christmas period family entertainment. Highly recommended." Common Sense Media rated 4 out of 5 stars. MovieGuide.org gave it 4 out of 4 stars, saying the film is a heart-rending movie. Very well written, it makes you laugh and cry. Better yet, it's an intentionally moral movie. It wants to prove that everyone needs love. Emma Cochran from Empire said 15 years later after this film's release, saying, "This is exactly the kind of adult fantasy you want to see at Christmas, and as such, it's highly enjoyable entertainment," and gave it 3 out of 5 stars. So I've got to say, those are good reviews. So I'm going to say, from my point of view, I thought the story was pretty good. And it just proved to be such an amazing experience. Anyway, now upon its release, the film got nominated for a couple of Saturn Awards. It got nominated for the Best Fantasy Film. Yes, but unfortunately it lost to Frequency. But however, Taya Leoni won a Saturn Award for Best Actress, which that was good. So I must admit, this film proved to have real good heartfelt moments and real emotional depth and what have you. But I think this proved to be such an underrated film. And of course, as always, don't mean to sound like a broken record, but I can't help it. It's a very nice film. I think you would really like it. The film's score was composed by legendary composer, one of my favorites, Danny Elfman. I think he does an exceptionally good job with this film's score. For the cast, we have Nicolas Cage as Jack Campbell. I gotta say, this is one of his great performances. I actually like it. He did an exceptionally good job. Taya Leoni played Kate, and I've gotta say, she's very good. Don Cheadle played Cash, good. Jeremy Piven later went on to appear in Scary Movie 3 as well as TV's Entourage, played Arnie. He was good. Joseph Summer, who I know of the Mighty Ducks with Emilio Estevez, played Peter Lester. He was good. Saul Rubinek played Alan Mintz. He was good. Let's see, we have Harvey Presnell, who I do know from Mr. Deeds, a few years later, played Ed, Kate's father. Very good. And we even got playing Annie, Mackenzie Vega, before she even played Grace on The Good Wife. And as the 11-year-old counterpart of Nancy Callahan in Sin City. Yeah, I gotta admit, she did a good job. But anyway, there's many others. The list goes on. But anyway, I have to admit, really good. We even got a little small appearance from Robert Downey Sr., yes, as a man in house. I think I know what house it was, but well, just see the movie and you probably will know him when you see him. But anyway, The Family Man is such an underrated Christmas flick in my book, but it has a good story, good direction. I mean, don't mind me saying a good direction. I mean, Brett Ratner's made some hit or misses, but this one I think really did decent enough. I mean, this was after he did Rush Hour and just before he did its sequel. But anyway, this was good and it has a good score from Danny Elfman and a great cast and great characters. So with everything said, would I recommend The Family Man? I would say sure, go ahead, give it a try. I think you'll like it. It's a very good movie, and again, it has a lot of emotional depth in some parts, good heartfelt moments, and what have you. What you can get from maybe a romantic fantasy dramedy flick. I mean, or if you're into stuff like It's a Wonderful Life, then I think you'll feel right at home with Family Man. Or if you're If you really like Nicolas Cage, if you're a big fan of his, then check it out. I mean, this is one of my favorite movies of his. So, what did you think of The Family Man? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, and you know the rest. Join me next time when I bring to you a TV log on the great Jim Henson classic TV series that is Fraggle Rock. Please stand by. So if you like this, check out my reviews of these two films that involve guys taking care of one little kid that would grow into be a bigger type of kid, but still a youngin. Check out my review of the classic 3 Minute Baby in the upper left-hand corner. The upper right-hand corner is my recent review of its sequel, 3 Minute Little Lady. Or if you like another holiday film, check out my recent spoiler-free review of the new Prime Video film, Oh, What Fun! And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying see ya.